My mother had moved into a nursing home a couple of weeks earlier. While visiting, I mentioned that I had taken her car to the car wash, filled up the tank, taken her for a test drive, made sure everything was working okay. She said, "I sure hope I can drive again." This was unlikely. She was struggling with recurrence of cancer, but I was inspired by her sense of hope. Just a couple of weeks later, she died. But for years, I helped her keep her car in good repair. I'd wash it, fill it with gas, test drives. So it was a normal thing for the two of us to talk about her car. It was kind of reassuring to both of us to have this typical conversation at her bedside. It felt hopeful. Hope is the most necessary force in our lives. It helps us look forward instead of back. It helps us stay happy instead of depressed. Hope is a characteristic that helps us flourish because it keeps our human spirit alive. I always looked forward each fall to a new school year. Did you? The excitement, the anticipation, new friends, new basketball team that would go all the way. Hope was the generator for a lot of things like enthusiasm, inspiration, optimism, creativity. The cool thing about hope is this: it's up to you. It's up to you and I. It's 100% internal. It's up to us. So I guess the thing to think about for me is most positivity arises when we feel safe, when we're satisfied. Hope is an exception to that. Did you know? If everything were already going well, there'd be little need for hope, right? Hope comes into play when our circumstances aren't so good or not going so well, or there's stress or anxiety or uncertainty. Hope arises precisely within those moments when hopelessness or despair might just be as likely. And maybe you've failed a test, maybe you lost your job, maybe it's a health scare, or you carried your child into the emergency room after a bike accident. Hope is fearing the worst, but wanting better. Hope is the belief that things can change no matter how awful or uncertain they are at the moment. Things can turn out better. So when possibilities exist, hope sustains us. It keeps us from giving up. It motivates us to tap into our potential, our creativity, our resilience, maybe even inventiveness to turn things around. So it also inspires us internally to take action, to plan for better things to come. I always like to say there's something great about to happen. So I've got to think of a question like, what action could you and I take now in an area of our life, any area, that would generate some new hope?